Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Plexus Health and Wellness event. We are so excited that you're here with us tonight. My name is Jen Hawkins, and I am a very thankful Diamond Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. Thanks for tuning in. I know that the next 30 minutes has the potential to change everything for you. We have some amazing testimonies coming at you tonight, and these stories show that Plexus products really work. People are desperate for what we have to offer in these products, and we as Plexus ambassadors, we know that what we have to offer is a true gift, a gift to people who are suffering silently, people who are struggling with health issues, or people that are just trying to obtain optimal health. Now, we hope, our hope and our prayer for you tonight is that you get hope tonight, that you are inspired to start your health journey with Plexus. Now, before we get to the amazing testimonies, I need to let you know that this event is brought to you by independent Plexus ambassadors, and it is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. Plexus Worldwide wants you to know that the results that you're going to hear tonight may vary from person to person, and that we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. Okay, well, let's get to the good stuff. First up is Emerald Ambassador Rachel Rogers.
Hey, everybody. I'm so excited to be on tonight. My story with Plexus is actually quite different from a lot of other stories that you will hear, in that I was actually very healthy before I started Plexus. I was training for a fitness competition. I was eating very clean. In fact, a cheat meal to me was chips and hot sauce, so that tells you anything. I was exercising every single day, often twice a day. I was drinking over a gallon of water every single day. But what I didn't tell a lot of people is that I still needed a nap every single day. I still junk food like crazy. In fact, I would stop by a cupcakery here in town several times a week as a reward for myself. And I didn't stop every day, although I wanted to. And I would have this internal conversation, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And I had dealt with cystic pimples for lots of years. And so I had all these things going on. And I started seeing my friends posting about Plexus. And for a long time, I would just scroll by. I was the girl that scrolled by and rolled my eyes and was like, I'm not gonna stop and listen to any of that. Until one day, one of my friends started talking about gut health. And you're gonna hear a lot about gut health tonight. That's really what Plexus is all about. And I'm so thankful that I found gut health products that worked for me. The list of symptoms that she mentioned, I had a lot of them. So I was intrigued, and I decided to go behind her back and start researching ingredients. For researching and the triplex products, I was like, okay, I think I need to give this stuff a try because everything I'm reading is amazing. And I started with the triplex products, which is Plexus Slim, ProBio 5, and BioCleanse. And you're going to hear just a little bit more about those here in just a little bit. But after just a couple days, like 2 days, I think it was, I was driving down the street and made it past that cupcakery and it didn't even register with me that I had passed it until I got past it. And I called my husband immediately and I said, babe, you're never going to believe what happened. And he said, okay, well, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stay with it. So that was just a couple days, seeing a definition in my abs that I had been working years for, and I had not seen up until that point because of tummy. I felt amazing, and I started seeing definition in my stomach, and I thought, okay, this is awesome. And then about 4 months in, I noticed that my skin started to clear. So it was just this accumulation of amazing benefits that I kept seeing. I had energy throughout the day. I wasn't taking naps anymore. And now I've been on the products for 3 years. 3 years, May 1st was my 3-year Plexiversary, and I feel absolutely amazing. I did start the new Slim this last Saturday, and I've noticed an even bigger increase in my energy, which is stimulant-free energy. There are no stimulants in the triplex products, you guys, and I feel amazing. All day energy, even more, and it's not this rush of energy. I just feel great. I'm not craving junk. I see an even bigger increase in those junk craving control. being controlled. Skin has gotten even clearer, even around the women will know how this feels, around that time of the month when your hormones are like going crazy here. And so I just feel absolutely amazing, and I will never, ever, ever go a day without these products. I'm so excited now to turn it over to my sweet friend who's a Sapphire ambassador, Arge Edgufry.
Thank you, Rachel. Isn't she awesome, you guys? Love it, love it. Thank you so much. I am Arge Edgufry. I am a Sapphire ambassador with Plexus. All right, guys, my background, let me tell you that real quick. I am a scientist. I have a PhD in physics. I have worked at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. I have worked at NASA and University of Texas Medical Branch. I'm telling you all these things because when Plexus came to my radar, I had just had my 4th baby right before I turned 40. She was born 2 weeks before my 40th birthday. And when she was about 3 months old and I'm still in my pregnancy genes and I see some of my friends posting about this Plexus stuff, I was intrigued, but I was very, very skeptical. With the research background I have, I went ahead and researched these products and I decided, okay, I'm going to try them. So like I mentioned, I started for weight loss. So let me tell you that. I'm a tiny girl. I'm a 5'2", but I did go from size 8 to a size 2 by my baby's 1st birthday, and a few months after that, I hit size 0, and I have been able to maintain it. That's great, but what else happened is, Rachel touched on it a little bit. As you get older and as you keep having babies, some of the stuff gets really, really tough. And the time of the month for me was personality changing. I would fight with my husband once a month, turn into a witch 2 days out of the month. I would spoon Nutella out of the jar. And, I wasn't a, nice person to be around. Anyway, just after a few months of triplex, I noticed that I was peachy. My mood changed and things were very, very different. I wasn't having that back and tummy discomfort with the time of the month. And then I have something else I deal with, you guys, and I've dealt with it for a long time, almost majority of my adult life. And it has to do with bathroom. I would go from one extreme to the other extreme. And I dealt with it so long that it started to change how I acted. I became an antisocial person that didn't want to go out to eat with my friends because I didn't know if I was going to be at the extreme where I have to find the closest bathroom. And if I can't make it on time, oh my gosh. So I know some of you know what I'm talking about. It is tough. It's debilitating. But I'm happy to say, again, a few months after being on these awesome products, I noticed that things started to get very, very comfy for me. And now I can do whatever. I can go out and eat my friends, and I do not have those issues anymore. And so these products, you guys, they have changed so much for me. I'm a busy mama. I have 4 kids. My oldest has special needs and I homeschool her. I also have a son who was diagnosed with leukemia just a couple years ago, and he's doing good, but we're still in treatment, and it's tough to be able to live this life and enjoy every day and be there for my family and be strong for my family is absolutely priceless. These products brought balance to my life. So right now, I'm going to give you a code word. That code word is balance. And whoever invited you to this event cares for you. They love you. They want you to hear these stories. So after the event is over, go ahead and message them that code word. And now I have the pleasure to invite an amazing lady. She is a senior Ruby ambassador with Plexus, and her name is Kristen Wyatt. Kristen, my friend, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing. I just get chills every time I hear these stories. So like she said, my name is Kristen Wyatt, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm excited to tell my story because I was pretty much borderline against it when I first heard about Plexus, because anything that even sounded like I maybe could lose a little weight, like I was completely against it. I was like, it's a scam, I know it, because you guys, I tried everything, every diet, every pill, every program, like you name it, I've done it. I either lost weight and then gained it back, or I had to only eat lettuce, and who does that? I don't know. And I would fail over and over and over. And for me, guys, I wasn't just a little bit unhealthy. I was very, very unhealthy. I was raised kind of poorly eating anyways, so I was chemically addicted to foods for sure. But then my mom passed away. She passed away in 2010, and I didn't even realize what was happening, but I think I took that burden on for my whole family. And instead of really dealing with it and grieving, I would turn to food. You know, they call it comfort food for a reason, and it worked for a short time. And so I wasn't just a little bit unhealthy. I would binge eat. I would hide food. I would think about food more than the people that I was with. It was interfering with my relationships. And again, I didn't even really know that that's what was happening. So finally, my friend said the magic words and said, don't worry, it's not about losing weight. It will help you get overall healthy. You know, they say losing weight is a side effect. So I'm like, okay, I mean, a side effect I'm cool with. I just don't want that to be the main goal, you know? So I'm like, okay, so I'll try it out. So thing number one that happened, a couple months in, so I'm about a month and a half in, I think it was week 5, I ran out of my medicine. I used to have to take pain medication because I was in so much pain. My husband would have to massage and press as hard as he could into my neck and shoulders to relieve some of the pressure every single day. I run out of my medicine. My husband's like, do we need to buy any more? And I'm like, no. But it's definitely not the Plexus. I'm like, it can't be the Plexus. Just stop, just stop. I was such a skeptic, right? It took me 9 months to even make my first purchase, Lordy. So number 2 thing that happened, I used to always be sick. The wind would blow, my tonsils are huge, they hold on to infection. Every chance I get, I'm sick. Well, there are all these people around me getting sick and I'm not getting sick. I'm like, something's happening, but it's definitely not the Plexus. I still wouldn't give it any credit whatsoever. I'm like, this is a one-off, hormones, who knows, you know, whatever. But I wasn't having to take any medication. So here was the game changer, okay? The main thing that helped me realize that actually Plexus was legit was I forgot about a donut on my counter. My husband literally said, do you want to eat this? And I said, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't know what you were saying. And he's like, this donut right here on the counter. Like, I don't want bugs to get it or whatever. And I thought, there's no way I forgot about a donut. Like, what? Like, if you know what it's like to be just emotionally pulled into food, it makes you feel better. It enhances your mood. You don't think about your problems. Like, you don't forget about a donut. I mean, people without emotional problems usually don't forget about a donut, let alone somebody that was pretty dependent on it to get through my day. I forgot about that donut. And I, with tears in my eyes, looked at my husband and was like, I think Plexus works. Finally, I'm off my medication and feeling great, but now I believe Plexus works. And so let me tell you guys, it's been 18 months since I've had to take any pain medication. I never get sick. I feel incredible sustained energy. My mom brain, yes, it's a real thing, honey. He tries to say it's not, but it totally is. When you have kids, you forget things. I lose my keys. I lose my debit card. It's totally not my fault. It's totally my kid juice. But it's gone. I'm more focused, more clarity. And to top it all off, I'm officially down 95 pounds. Which is crazy. I know that's like the size of a small child or average size, I don't know, child. Either way, I know it's a lot to lose, and my eating habits just completely transformed when I got a hold of this food addiction, and I was able to change my relationship with food. I use it for fuel to my body now, not because it's all I can think about and the only thing that helps me bury my pain. Now I'm able to grieve properly and allow God to heal my heart the way He always intended to. So Plexus is so much more than just weight loss to me, because it's completely transformed my life. So even if this is the last thing you try because you've lost all hope, I only decided to do it because we have a 60-day money back guarantee, so you're not losing anything. So that's my story. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm going to hand it to my good friend, Amy Triplett, Emerald Ambassador. Take it away, girl.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. I understand completely about not forgetting about a donut. That was my life before. So I joined Plexus mainly because of weight loss and also for the business opportunity. I had no idea of all the other health benefits that would come alongside it. So ever since I was a kid, I dealt with head discomfort, and it was pretty bad. It was something that was constant. My mom would take me to all kinds of different MRIs. Nobody could ever figure out what was wrong with me, and it was just something I learned to deal with. Well, as I got older, especially as I had kids, and especially as my sugar addiction became more severe, I started getting extreme, severe, we'll say it's head discomfort. So bad where I would get physically sick. I would have to put a pillow on my head. I could not handle light or noise. I would have somebody come and help me with my kids, or my husband would have to come home. We even had a couple of ER visits. It was that bad. Nothing helped. Nothing can touch it unless it completely knocked me out. So, like I said, when I joined Plexus, that was never anything I was expecting to be helped with. Like, I just assumed this was my lot in life. And the thing that broke my heart the most is all the times my kids had to be told to be quiet because mama doesn't feel good, or all the events I may have had to miss because mommy doesn't feel good. I mean, it just breaks my heart to think that would have been their life and what they were used to. So when I started Plexus, I noticed immediately that I stopped craving sugar. I too stopped going through Dunkin' Donuts like twice a day. I was bad, you guys. So I got to a point, I'm not kidding, where I most dessert. So I noticed immediately I stopped craving sugar. I had the energy I needed to chase my kids around. I started sleeping better. I mean, I felt like myself. Well, here's the thing though. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I woke up one morning and had no discomfort in my head, like none. I just was like, this was weird, because like I said, it was constant before. Well, you guys, it has been 3 years and I have not struggled with that at all. It is gone. I don't do anything else. I'm not on any kind of medications or anything like that. It has just been Plexus. And now I get to be the mom that I want to be, and I get to be the wife and the Christian that I want to be without being constantly in pain. So it's been life-changing. I'm telling you, I would pay triple just to have my quality of life back. So it's totally worth it. So now I'm going to hand it over to Nathan Darby. He is the husband of Melissa Darby, who is a Diamond Ambassador, and he's going to share with you next.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Miss Amy. A lot of estrogen in this meeting. Here's your one dose of some testosterone. So I am, as Amy said, I'm the husband of Melissa Darby, who's the Diamond Ambassador, aka my sugar mama. I want to give you a little bit of background. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 8 years old. I'm now 40, so I've been 32 years as a type 1 diabetic. Type 1 diabetes is basically where my pancreas does not create the insulin that it needs, and type 2 doesn't really use the insulin well. So for me, basically I had a situation where I went to the doctor. It was basically 4 years ago, I think this week. I went to the doctor, saw my endocrinologist. Every good diabetic goes to the endocrinologist every 3 months. And I had kind of a huge wake-up call. The doctor told me, he said, look, you got to make some changes. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I came home kind of white-faced, pale, and just said, Mel, we got to do something, because this is not working. I'm kind of in trouble. I got slapped. And so it was one of those things where something had to change. And so there was some divine timing, because it was at that moment, Plexus kind of came into our lives. Melissa was introduced to it, and we have an 8-year-old son who is autistic, and at the time he was 4 years old. So she had already been doing a whole lot of research, kind of overall health and wellness for him, and it now became a kind of a family mission. And so Mel's research was fantastic, but one of the things that she did, because at the time Plexus really kind of, for us personally, came across as like this weight loss company, and through the research, it was like, this is not a weight loss company, it's a health and wellness company. So I made an agreement with her. I said, you know what, first let me tell you, we are a Dave Ramsey family, and I told her there's not a line item for Plexus. But she said, well, look, for $34.95, and she explains it all to me, and I made the agreement, if you can get it paid for, I'll take whatever you put in front of me. So that's what we did. So she handed it to me. So Jump forward 3 months, I go back to the doctor, and the doctor looks, you always have to take your blood, get your blood drawn. You get your A1C results, and where I was high blood pressure, high cholesterol, my A1C was really high, unfortunately. He looked at my chart and he said, Nathan, I mean, flat out, Nathan, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. As of at that point, after 3 months on to Plexus, I didn't have to take my blood pressure medicine anymore. I didn't have to take my cholesterol meds anymore. And I wasn't 40 at the time. I was like, this is crazy. I feel like an old man. That's like what my dad used to say to me. So it was amazing. So for any diabetics out there, let me also tell you this, another statistic for you. I am on an insulin pump right now. And I was at the time as well 4 years ago. So I could calculate, or I could see how much insulin I was taking per day. And I was at about 80 units a day. After that 3 months, I basically reduced my insulin intake by up to 40%, which seems crazy to me, right? And you've heard some of the other stories from the ladies before, are like, this can't be Plexus, surely not. But I got to tell you, it was one of those things where it was a divine intervention. God put that opportunity in our laps, and we ran with it. My wife took on with the business side, took off with it. Thank you, Diamond Ambassador. And it's just been an amazing ride. So Plexus has absolutely blessed our family tenfold. So with that, I would like to hand it off to Ruby Ambassador Claire Luffman. It's all yours.
Thank you so much. So again, my name is Claire Luffman. I've been on these Plexus supplements for about 1.5 years. And for me, my health challenges started about 2 decades ago. It started with a lot of digestive issues, issues. I would have these extreme attacks, really seriously felt like I was going to pass out, nauseous, pain. I would call my parents. They knew the deal. I would call them, if you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, call 911. I seriously thought I would lose consciousness. It was that bad. And as I know now, unresolved digestive issues leads to a whole host of issues. I had so many food allergies. My body started attacking itself. It was fighting the wrong enemy. It was fighting me. It was fighting my thyroid. It was fighting my muscles, where I felt like I had the whole time. I also had chronic inflammation all throughout my body for at least 15 years. I felt it in my muscles. They were burning, painful, swollen, and I did everything. Massage therapy, physical therapy, chiropractic work, dry needling, you name it, I did it, and it simply did not work. And about 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with super advanced breast cancer with stage 3C. I was 35 years old. My son was just born, about 3 months old. So it was 1.5 years of mastectomies, chemotherapy, radiation. And guys, I didn't have a family history. They did the genetic marker, the BRCA gene, that was negative. Why the heck is a 35-year-old getting breast cancer? But it's happening younger and younger. And now, again, in hindsight, my body was like, girl, how many red flags do I need to wave before you know something is going on inside? So I was a hot mess. My adrenals started to fail. I couldn't sleep through the night for at least 1.5 years. And I can go on, but I won't. But there became a point where I was sick and tired. And the doctors were going to put me on medication again. And it was at the point I said, no, stop. Get me off this medication train. I'm not going to cover up another symptom with a Band-Aid. There's something going on. So I actually went the holistic route 2 years before I ever heard of Plexus. I work with a holistic doctor, and I was a very patient. All the inflammatory foods. I was exercising, I was reducing stress. I was taking a boatload of supplements, and I felt better, but I still felt like death. Like, that was the best way to describe how I felt. I would wake up in the morning after no sleep, crying to my husband, Eric, like, how am I going to get through the night? How am I going to get through the day? How am I going to do this? Right? Face, we grin and bear it day. But in comes Plexus. I met this holistic functional medicine health coach, and she knew how much I was suffering, and she knew all that I was doing to get well. And she told me about the Plexus supplement line because she was using it in her health clinic, and her patients were doing amazing. They were getting better quicker, and it was so much less expensive than what she was using. And she's like, you need to give these a try. And I was like, girl, I have tried everything. I was so pessimistic. I was like, I seriously have tried everything under the sun. But she told me about the 6-city money back guarantee. She says, if it doesn't work, so I gave it a try, the triplex. And wow, seriously, even just the first week, it was subtle changes, but I felt more energy, being clearer. And I had hope, this spark of hope for the first time in forever, being like, maybe this is actually going to work. And it was probably around weeks 4 to 6 that, OMG, oh my gosh, I was sleeping through the night. My digestive issues were a thing of the past. I have not had one digestive attack this entire time. And guys, that was just a way of life. Like, that is just crazy to me. My flu-like symptoms that I felt like I had the flu all the time, gone. My inflammation, my muscles felt like butter. Like, so to say that I seriously feel like this most transformed woman is an understatement. So to me, praise God, this was the biggest answer to prayer. And I'm so glad that I gave the supplements a try. And I'm so glad that for that holistic health coach. So thank you so much for listening to my story. And without further ado, I would love to hand it over to the one and only wonderful Diamond Ambassador, Rachel Neagle.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, I hope that throughout these stories you're seeing just a common thread. I identify so much with Claire's story. My journey to finding Plexus can pretty much be summed up in 2 words: hormone hell. I was 37 years old. I had a brand new baby and I was falling apart. I was experiencing multiple endocrine system issues that affected my metabolism. It affected my stress response, and it affected my blood sugar. At 37 years old, I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic and insulin resistant. I was passed, like so many of us are, from one doctor to another doctor, patted on the head, and prescribed antidepressants. Ultimately, I took matters into my own hands. I began aggressive research. I started trying to supplement, and I was lucky enough to have the pleasure of working, like Claire, with a functional medicine doctor. Basically, I became an advocate for myself, and I also became an advocate for others. So when Plexus came into my life, it created the perfect marriage of passion and platform. 3.5 years later, my hormones are in harmony, my gut health is in check, and I've gotten to help thousands of people. Because of the years of research that I spent trying to figure out what was wrong with me, I knew immediately when I found Plexus that this product line could change everything. What drew me to Plexus from the very beginning, 3.5 years ago, was their commitment to source plant-based, non-GMO, gluten-free ingredients. But especially, it was the fact that then and remaining today, the singular focus of our company is gut health. And that's what continues to allow us to revolutionize this industry. So you've heard several of us tonight mention Triplex. We've mentioned the product line that we're on. And I'm excited to tell you guys about a recent enhancement to our product line. Many of you may have even tried our older version of Slim before. If you've been on Facebook at all, you know that we've been blowing it up because we're so excited about our new Slim. It still has the same amazing healthy glucose metabolism benefits, the healthy cholesterol and lipid profile benefits, but it has the addition of an amazing prebiotic fiber that has more than 100 papers published devoted to its study. In vitro clinical trials, this new prebiotic fiber, it's called XOS, I'm not going to give you the big long name, was proven to feed the good gut microbes, allowing them to flourish. So if you are a visual learner like I am, think of when you plant your garden, how you put Miracle-Gro on it. That's what this prebiotic fiber does. But the amazing thing about it is it only feeds the good gut bacteria. It won't feed the bad. It is also clinically demonstrated to help you lose weight by dramatically increasing a remarkable microbe called Akkermansia, which is associated with weight loss. And in those in vitro studies, Akkermansia increased it by 250 times, you guys. That is amazing. And I could spend all night telling you guys about Slim and how incredible it is, but I have to move on, and I have to tell you about the other 2 products that are Slim's companion, making up our triplex system. I get asked a lot what my favorite product in Plexus is. What's the one thing that I couldn't live without? And for me, it's ProBio 5. ProBio 5, yes, it is a probiotic, but it's actually a 3-in-1 system. So you're getting 5 varied and diverse strains of probiotics, but you're also getting enzymes. And these enzymes work to help you digest your food better. They help you absorb more of the nutrients, and they also help to break down the bad critters that are in your gut. And the other product that is in this probiotic is a natural antifungal. And that natural antifungal is what sets this probiotic apart from every other one in the industry. Its companion product is BioCleanse, and BioCleanse is a magnesium-based product. Did you know, by the way, that all of your hormones are made from magnesium? You have to have magnesium. It's such an essential element, and 9 out of 10 Americans are deficient in it. BioCleanse helps to support detoxification. It helps with healthy bowel function, and it helps with the removal of the toxic microbes that can be in your gut. So this triplex system works synergistically to balance your blood sugar, to get your gut healthy, and to reduce inflammation. And so it's my pleasure to now hand this back to our amazing Diamond Sapphire Jen Hawkins.
Oh my goodness, you guys, these stories just never get old. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you, Rachel, for that triplex explanation, and the new enhancement to our new Slim. It is just, I am so crazy about the new flavor and that it mixes easy. It's just amazing. So thank you all for sharing. I'm looking down at you like you can see me too, but you guys, these are just a handful of thousands upon thousands of life-changing stories. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I want to know more, well, we have a special video link that's a part 2 to our series tonight that have just a few more of these amazing stories. So you can get back with the person who invited you here, and they can share with you that link. If you are following me on Facebook and you're a Plexus ambassador watching, after this event, I will share it in the comments of my post about this event tonight, and they can share that with you. But more importantly, the person who invited you here can help you start your Plexus journey, that journey towards a better health. Now, because we have life-changing products, we also have an incredible business opportunity. We aren't going into that tonight, but if you're interested in that part, maybe you're interested in making enough to cover your own products, breaking even, that's what my first goal was, or you want to make a little bit extra money or build a really solid business. Tune in with us on May 23rd. It's a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We are going to do a similar event tonight, but what about the business? And we'd love to have you join us for that. You guys, with Plexus, we have the saying, what if this could change everything? This could change everything for you. It has for thousands, and I look forward to seeing it change everything for you as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and y'all have a great night. Signing off.